I know their names. That's about it. I've watched them work out a little bit. I've gotten to talk to them on the phone a little bit, just gotten to know their personalities. They're hungry to work, and that's what I hear from the people that have been held over on the staff, that they're hard workers. They're going to do what you ask them to do. They want to play, they want to succeed, and they want to be coached. And that's something that excites me. Again, seeing them bench press and squat and all that kind of stuff, it only tells you so much besides they're willing to work. And they're big, strong kids. They've got good bodies for what we're going to ask them to do, which helps. It doesn't mean they can do it, but I firmly believe we're going to have some guys in that room that are going to be able to play and help us a lot.
What can you tell us about Colin that you just signed?
The biggest thing about Colin that I was just talking about is the way he plays. He's a really good football player already at 18 years old. He understands leverage. He understands pad level. He understands demeanor of what this position really takes. And he's got a prototypical SEC, NFL type tight end body. He's long. He's 6'4.5", probably closer to 6'5". He plays strong. You can tell in his legs, he's got some powerful legs, but he's got a lot of room to grow too. I think his potential is really high. And with the early signing period, recruiting kind of changes. If you don't commit somewhere early, it kind of slows stuff down, and then it speeds back up after the first signing period. And that's kind of what's happened to him without being able to go to some camps, without having a huge junior year. But if you watch his senior film, he's as good as a lot of tight ends across the country in this class.
He had an older brother that went to Texas A&M, offensive lineman. Can you tell that he's had that to grow up around, growing up around football and everything?
He's got toughness. I don't know Keaton at all. I know Coach Pittman does, and Coach Pittman knows the family. And again, it speaks volumes about Coach Pittman that their family remembered and loved him so much from his recruitment of Keaton, even though he didn't go and play for him, that they still knew and respected and wanted their son to come and play for him. I think it is huge, and it tells a lot about Coach Pittman. And again, you'll hear from all the other assistant coaches a lot of the same things, which it just kind of backs it up. And not that he needs that affirmation, but it just shows time and time again the kind of man that he is.
Have you talked to Coach Briles about kind of what kind of role the tight end's going to have in this offense?
Well, the past 4 years we've been running the same offense. We did the same thing at UCF. We did the same thing at Missouri the past 2 years I was there. So I've been in this offense a while. I am very excited to get to learn from the guy that knows it better than anybody else in the country, because there's different versions of what we do. And I say we because I've been doing it for a while. I know a bunch of the guys, and Coach Briles. I've known Coach Briles for a long time. So I know a lot of the offense, but the guy that's ran it the best, that's had the most success, not necessarily every year, but year in and year out, what he's done. I'm really excited to learn the intricacies of what he does day in and day out to make this offense really run the way that it's supposed to be run.
Arkansas has had a pretty good run of tight ends the last decade or so. I mean, does that kind of, whenever you're asked to coach this position group at Arkansas, does that kind of add something to it?
Oh, absolutely. The tradition here is unmatched. And like I say in the recruiting process, when you step on campus here, it doesn't make you a better tight end because you're at Arkansas. You have to live up to it. And the guys like CJ and Hunter Henry, and I know I'm going to miss a bunch of them, but there's a whole bunch of them, like you said, the past decade that are really good players, that there's some pride to it. And you get to watch those guys and see them have success, that they're going to try to live up to it. And that's the biggest thing about it. Those guys having success doesn't mean the next guy will. Just because they played for somebody doesn't mean the next guy will. But I do think there's a sense of pride, just like you wear the Razorback on your chest when you play that position and step in that meeting room. You're expected. There's a high level of expectations for those guys.
You're one of several assistants on this staff that Coach Pittman hired that have an offensive line background.
Sure.
He's an offensive line coach.
Yeah.
He told me that it was just kind of he didn't realize it was a coincidence. But do you think there's honestly a little bit of something there that, offensive lineman, offensive line coach kind of connection there?
Well, I do think it is a very special position, and anyone that's coached or played it has a little special place for each other in their hearts. But you look at coaches around the country, you don't necessarily play or coach the same position that you've played or coached before. You get in this profession to learn football, and if you just know one position, you're not going to be a very good coach. And again, not that you can coach any position on the field, but you got to be able to be multiple in what you do. If you just understand and put yourself in a bubble, you're not going to be a great offensive coach. I should be able to go into the receivers room, the running back room, quarterback room, and be able to answer any questions that they have. And we're going to expect that of all the coaches on offense, because we all need to have a complete understanding, not just putting yourself in a bubble. We're going to ask our kids to have an understanding of our entire offense, not just put them in a bubble. So I think the complete understanding of what we do is really important.